Good evening, everybody. My name is Assistant Chief John Sarrocco, Sarrocco, Assistant Chief of Operations. This is Lieutenant Martinez. Okay, today's an example of what we do in the FDNY. We today about 3 o'clock we had a call for a 15-year-old impaled in a fence. We were able to extricate that 15-year-old from the fence, give it critical care on the scene by our EMS personnel, and transport that person to Bellevue Hospital at a level 1 trauma center. Again, we only just don't put out fires, but this is an example of what we do every day, the training, the dedication that goes on each and every day by this fire department and our specialized units. We're able to extricate this child from the fence and save his life. It just goes a testament to what we do on a daily basis in the FDNY. I'll leave anything as far as the operation up to Lieutenant Martinez as far as the intricacies of the operation. Lieutenant?
Lieutenant Mark Martinez from Rescue 4, MARTINEZ. We got the, as the chief said, we got the phone call about 3 o'clock. The run came over. We started to respond. Squad 288, the other specialized unit over the air, asked what the impalement was. 140, the truck that was on scene, said they were caught on a wrought iron fence, and this is when the guys in the back of the rig started coming up with a plan on how to extricate the victim from the wrought iron fence. Once on scene, we saw 140 with a torch. That's one of the ways you can get someone off a wrought iron fence. But since this was a low fence, it wasn't really a good idea because of the heat that could be generated while using that type of tool. We use numerous type of tools to do this thing. This day, we decided to use the bandsaw, where Rescue Can, which was Jason Schumacher, went there, sized up the scene, and saw that the bandsaw was the best tool to use. He cut the vertical bars going up, 3 of them, and then he cut the horizontal top piece to keep everything in one piece, so this way you can transport it all together so you're not injuring the person more. With that, our hook firefighter, which was Danny Buckeye, he tried to combat the wrought iron fence to the leg, so this way everything could stay intact and you're not hurting the person any further. With that, we passed it off to EMS. Right? Usually we'll follow with them, but since they were taking them to Manhattan, Rescue 4 ended up meeting EMS at the hospital just in case if they needed to cut any more out from that. You got to keep it all intact so this way nothing else happens. Yes, Jason, who did most of the cutting, he'll talk now.
All right, firefighter Jason Shoemaker in Rescue 4. Shoemaker, Shoemaker. I had the can position in Rescue 4, so we got the run for a child impaled on a fence. On the way there, Squad 288 determined that they did have a victim, a child, with his leg stuck on a fence. Myself and the rest of the crew in Rescue 4, we sized up the situation on the back step. We decided that to bring some battery-powered bandsaws. We bought the bandsaw. We decided we were going to cut in 3 or 4 spots. Again, firefighter Danny Buckeye was right next to me. We cut it. We provided we used some triangle bandages, and we wrapped the wrought iron fence onto the patient's leg and then onto the backboard. So we all worked together as a team. We passed them off to EMS, and then like Lieutenant Martinez said, this is like a very low frequency run, but it's a high impact for the patient. So each day in Rescue 4, we train on something different. And about last week, we just trained on those bandsaws, and we cut a piece of fence ourselves here. So it's all a teamwork thing here, and Squad 288 assisted us as well. And then we passed it off to EMS, and then EMS brought him to Bellevue Hospital, and they met with Rescue 1 in Manhattan, and they finished the operation.
Any other questions? Lucy?
So the child, how many spikes were impaled in his leg? And are you saying the fence was still in his leg as you brought him to the hospital?
Yes.
Can you add to that?
So one spike was into his leg, and it was still impaled. You got to keep it all together, so you don't want to move it in any way and maybe injure more inside his leg.
So, Lieutenant, one thing is that you have this job to make sure that you get this patient on this fence, but at the same time, I'm sure there's a lot of anxiety that this patient is in. How do you deal with that? You have a 15-year-old, I'm sure he was very much.
Well, actually, this patient was calm as could be. Surprisingly enough, usually it is more of anxiety and people worried. He was just worried about not getting cut himself, but he stayed calm, which made the job that much easier.
Can you just walk us through how he fell onto the fence?
That I'm not positive of. From the reports I got, they were horsing around, and one of his friends pushed him, and that friend landed on him, and which I don't know if that's the correct story, but that's the reports we got.
And how common is it, to be going through an operation where you have to cut through this fence and it is in the patient as he's being transported?
It's not easy, but that's why we drill on that every day. Firefighter Schumacher has said, we drill on that every day, so this way when we do get there, we can make a difference and probably save someone's life.
And the precision of it is very important, so you're not causing a worse wound.
Correct.
And what's his condition now, sir?
I'm not positive that.
He's stable. He's stable right now.
Stable at Bellevue Hospital. Carrie, you got anything? Anybody else have any questions? No. Danny Torres, who was there? Danny.
Firefighter Schumacher, you mentioned just last week you guys did some training?
Yeah, so this truck Rescue 4 and there's 5 rescues. Every borough has one. There's a lot of tools on this rig. So we decide each day and each week is a different discipline or a different tool. So last week was part of that tool, and we pulled those tools off the rig last week, and we made sure that they worked, the batteries were charged, and the blades were sharp. So we can use precision and get the job done quickly and safely.
Is this the first time you've ever been in a situation like this with anyone who's had to literally do what you did, which was
Yes. Yes, this was my first time. It went very smooth. I would say it probably lasted about 10 minutes. We passed it off to EMS, and they did the rest of their job.
Last question, Carrie,
Yeah. Is there a reason why you just couldn't lift them up off the fence? Why the fence still...
Yeah, so we don't want to cause any more harm to the victim, so we leave him as stable as he can, and then we cut around him, and if we have to cut a bigger piece to fit inside the ambulance, we do that, keep it as big as we can, get him in the ambulance, and then let the OR, let him get to a hospital and a surgeon and let them decide on how much they need to cut. So that's why we had Rescue 1 from Manhattan stand by at Bellevue Hospital, just in case.
And was he bleeding out at this point?
No, he was not.
He was not.
No.
Okay, that's enough questions. I think Firefighter Torres, will you help us here, a little Spanish?
Yeah, a little Spanish, and he helped use the tool also.
Solamente si me puede dar una explicación general de lo que pasó.
Mi nombre es bombero Daniel Torres, Torres, y un niño de 15 años se cayó en una cosa como así en la pierna ahí. Estaba como 3 centímetros dentro de la pierna y tenemos que cortar en 4 lugares para sacar la cosa de eso, de la metal, y para transportarla en el hospital.
¿Saben cómo pasó eso? ¿Cómo terminó el muchacho?
Está bien ahora, sí.
Okay.
Sí, está bien.
¿Cuánto duró la operación para rescatarlo?
¿De qué?
¿Cuánto tiempo duró?
Como 10 minutos.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you, everybody.